You wanna feel down.
And welcome back, football fans, to the Fantasy Football Factory, where we're sliding into Week 12 like Tua should do.
That's fucked up, man.
But welcome back, gang. How's everybody doing this week, man? Welcome to the program, gentlemen.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm ready. I'm richer this week.
Yeah, I see that, man.
I'd buy that for $1.
I see. If you hang out with here, man, we lined your pockets, baby. We lined your pockets, man. I see you guys did good, man. You guys made good on some.
Hit a couple parlays and small ones, but then I hit Jay was nice enough to send a DK invite with a bunch of his buddies, $10, winner takes all, and $126 for that too. So
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's going more money
like
going to
it,
my Detroit Lions game trip that's coming up and very soon.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
So
I'm gonna buy some goodies.
You mean drugs, don't you, pal?
Jay and I are very jelly that you're about to make that trip
I am
to
so
Michigan.
jealous.
Fuck yeah.
I need
That's
that,
good shit.
that Thanksgiving pen, Bean.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Can you believe it's
man. I'll get some
Thanksgiving
souvenirs.
already?
I know, right?
Unbelievable. Yeah, which reminds me, we will be bringing you ready for your playoff season, and then we will get you ready for it and through it as well. We will talk a little bit about some kind of retrospective looks back on the year as the time becomes more appropriate. But keep hanging out with us here at the Fantasy Football Factory. And I got to ask you guys, as we do every week, what did you learn last week in Week 11's NFL play, Bean?
Same old shit, different day.
Oh, this is my favorite segment right here. Looking back, it makes me laugh. I look back to what I said a couple weeks ago about Anthony Richardson, but he kind of shut me up this week. I learned that he can actually sometimes play a little football. Threw for 270, had a touchdown, had a couple rushing touchdowns, beat the Jets. They still suck. They fired the GM today, so yeah, that makes me happy as a Pats fan. Obviously, the Lions look unbeatable. They actually scored more touchdowns, 7 of them, than Jared Goff threw in completions. 5. Go figure.
That's pretty massive.
You don't see that a lot, man.
That's massive. Yeah.
Wow. You don't see that every day.
I mean, with the Sonic and Knuckles, I mean, they look tough. That's scary, man. It's scary. Another thing I learned was, once again, Lamar, the MVP candidate, absolutely floundered in a big game, big meaningful game. I mean, he tends to do that, playoffs, albeit. It just seems like he just gets caught up in it. And, again, he'll shut me up next week, but he looked terrible. I mean, they looked rough against their, the rival Pittsburgh.
They look like shit.
But
He'll shut you up unless it's prime time, unless it's a big game.
yeah. Well, I mean, there's no doubt he'll be watching the Super Bowl in the same place I am on my couch. So, I mean,
That's right.
not with me, but yeah, he'll be on his couch. Yeah.
I'm sure as shit on Sunday.
That seems to be a reputation he's earning more and more as his career progresses. Pretty crazy.
And it's one of those weird awards. I've always found it to be odd to give a guy an MVP and then he might not even do it. You know what I mean? 9 times out of 10, they're not even in the big game. It's like, how valuable are you? That's always been my quote. Like, if you're watching the game like everybody else at home, it's a weird award. I don't get it. Right. They love talking about it every day on SportsCenter, this and that, but it's stupid,
Right.
Big deal. You had great stats. You're not even going to the second round of the playoffs. So big deal.
As far as I'm concerned, you're a great regular season quarterback.
Right, exactly.
Just like Dak, just like Romo, just like, some of these guys.
Yep.
No difference.
Crazy.
Another thing I learned, Joe Burrow is the only QB, now hear me out, in the history of the NFL to go back-to-back games with a minimum of, with 300 passing yards, 3 or more TDs, no interceptions, and lost both games.
That's fucked up.
Wow.
It's never happened. I mean, he's put up phenomenal numbers 2 games in a row.
I feel so bad.
They lost. Yeah, you almost kind of root for Joe, and I like the guy. I mean, he looks like a serial killer, but you gotta root for him.
Looks like he likes Morrissey.
He really does, man. Fucking a throwaway on the Ellen show. But yeah, I tell you, man, that's true though.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe too, because they look really good. I mean, that offense is clicking right now. They look great. It's just hard to believe they're just,
especially with T. Higgins back. With T. Higgins back, they were looking good. I mean, Chase isn't getting as much as he should.
Another mouth to feed, Marion.
Because they're both in there, but that's a good thing. They're going to give and take with their good games, bad games.
No, you got to take the good and the bad with Higgins too, and that's his huge problem with him is he just can't find the field. lately. And when he's on the field, he's awesome. He'd be a great number one anywhere. Anywhere else he went, he'd probably be the number one guy. He's there with Chase. But yeah, that 1-2 is awesome.
Devil's combo.
He's lacking the greatest ability that there is, which is availability.
He's a bum.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, man. I tell you, the Bengals are literally one of the best teams in the league, and they're likely to be missing the playoffs this year.
Probably not. Yep, probably not.
Crazy.
That's crazy. Batshit crazy.
I was looking the stats up today, and I looked at Bo Nix's stats and Jaden Daniels, who gets, don't get me wrong, phenomenal player, but he's actually right there with him. If not, he's actually thrown more touchdowns. And so it's just funny that he doesn't get any of the hype. I don't know, his team is not winning, and that's usually the big cause of it. But you don't hear a lot of people talking about him, even on like the fantasy show, a little bit like, oh, he's got a good matchup or so, but there's no hype. There's no, I don't know if it's just because he's in Denver. I don't.
He committed the cardinal sin of not doing it immediately. See, that we live in the culture now.
Right, exactly. Took 3 games, right?
Right,
yeah.
exactly.
Took 3 games for him to throw his first touchdown.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, what have you done for me lately?
Jaden Daniels came out and did it in week 1, so there went all the love, and
And again, they're winning better record, and
right.
Yeah, exactly.
Crazy.
He looks good, right?
Crazy stuff.
Well, that kind of rolls off what I'm talking about, what I learned this week. The first thing I was going to say was the Bo Nix thing. There he is. He's moving up into the MVP conversation. And look, Jaden Daniels does not look that great coming out for the rest of the year because their schedule is not great.
Yeah.
And they have a much better defense right now. People are slatching on that, the defense, but they're actually really good. They're a top defense.
I wouldn't want to play Denver if they make the playoffs. I would not want to play them. Nope.
The last thing I got to say, and I'm going to say it every week from here on out, nobody wants to play the Lions right now.
Nobody wants to play them.
Nobody wants to Lions right now. And this is weird for me to say. Been a fan forever, but it's almost like I don't want to say it and put that into the
jinx it, right?
But we're good. We're damn good.
We are the best.
Yeah, trade deadlines are probably popping up in your leagues and waiver. Yeah. I mean, this is this crucial time, man. Get it done. Right. This is the time to do it, man. Don't hold off.
Don't hold off. Yeah, make those moves and make those trades. That's right. Your trade deadline is right about now for a lot of leagues. Yeah. So get in there and try to force them through, man. Unless you're in a lot of leagues like I'm in, where people just are allergic to trades for whatever reason.
I don't know what's up with that, man.
Crazy. Well, I got to ask you before we move on, man. Did you guys get a chance to watch Mike Tyson literally show his ass or what?
What's your prediction?
Vicious win.
Vicious win. Thank you, Dad.
Love you.
Love you too.
Netflix, they're actually hosting 2 football games on Christmas Day. And that didn't really excite me much after seeing the debacle that happened with the fight. I mean, I know not everybody got hit by it, but I know so many people, and myself included, that there was crazy buffering. And, I was watching on my iPad. I was in bed just trying to get comfortable, and it froze a few times. I had to restart it. It was almost like pixelated at sometimes, like you were watching the fucking Spice Channel back in the 90s. Remember?
All right, you'll just have to stay in the room and watch scrambled porn.
You see it coming in and out. I was like, "What is that? A fight? Is that a boob? I don't know what." It was crazy, but it worked absolutely great when they cut to the locker room and fucking Iron Mike was there, turned around, and it was bare ass. I mean, that was awesome. That was amazing.
Awesome. That was great.
But yeah, the fight obviously sucked. I mean, it was stupid. The female fight before that was great. That was a great fight. But
yeah, very much.
Yeah. I mean, watching a nearly 60-year-old dude just kind of, it was so rigged and stupid. I don't know. It is what it is, but it was a money grab and we all fell for it. So.
It was a fucking money grab.
It is what it is.
Stealing all the money.
Yeah, they both are taking big chunks of change to the bank this week. So,
well, they didn't get me because it was late. I needed to go to sleep. So after all that weird ass Milk Dud commercial, I was done.
The fight was terrible, though. It was definitely not the way you want to see a legend go out. It just is.
No.
Nobody cares about things like legacy anymore, though. I was actually talking to a guy earlier this week, but things like that are kind of that's a dying concept.
It's all for sale, by the way.
When you weigh legacy versus $22 million, I guess there's an easy, decision to be made.
I mean, you watched him sparring and hitting the shit out of dudes and hitting that, and you didn't see even remotely. He came out. He had maybe 1 or 2 in the first round that were like, whoa, but then it was just like nothing. He sat there biting his glove. It was just weird. Yeah,
he had the whole
bummer.
Balls in the
he did. I think he wanted to murder that guy. but he just couldn't. You know, it was like, don't kill that.
He wasn't allowed to throw uppercuts or anything.
Yeah, it was.
I
wacky.
watched. There's a TikTok video going around that is making the argument that when the fight starts, you can see Tyson go out and kind of throwing punches and shit.
Tyson was doing fantastic at the beginning, landing some big shots and knocking Jake around the ring. But that changed when Paul clenched with Tyson. It's alleged he whispered into Tyson's ear to cool it, and the message was confirmed received by Tyson with the affirming tap on the back. After that moment, Tyson became a stick in the mud, standing directly in front of Paul with no more aggressiveness to him. Like here, for instance, Tyson can see the right hand plain as day and makes no attempt to slip it. My next reason is Tyson was definitely pulling his punches. Tyson looked as if he was struggling to hold back and not throw punches at Paul. Here's a perfect example. Tyson deflects the shot off his shoulder, comes up in perfect position to land a counter right hand, but does nothing. Very uncharacteristic. And my final reason is Tyson biting his glove. The reason he was doing this was to remind himself not to throw punches and let Jake control the pace.
It's unfortunate that those kind of questions can linger, instead of, if it was a straight ass weapon, we wouldn't be talking about that shit. And to be fair, all things being equal, I dislike the Paul guy very much, but I thought he was respectful to Mike Tyson, and I thought he could have fucked him up, honestly, if he was really going to go.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
I thought it was a fucking joke.
Because Tyson just stood there. He was ripe for the taking, man.
Yeah.
Rosie Perez almost had a stroke talking about it, too. Who knew she was a boxing analyst?
What was that about even? Yeah,
that was so weird.
Yeah.
I kept thinking of White Men Can't Jump when she was doing the Jeopardy shit, like Mount Vesuvius. That's all I kept thinking. It's like, what?
Yes. Popes for 400, Alex.
Answer. His reign was the shortest on record in Glory again.
Who was John Paul I?
Right.
Ruling class for 800, Alex.
18th century czar who
is Peter the Great? Who is the Emperor Constantine? Who is King John?
Yes.
Is that Rosie fucking Perez doing a fucking boxing match?
Yeah.
She's still hot as hell, though.
She was pretty. She ain't ugly,
She's so cute.
That's fucking funny shit.
The voice, though, Jesus Christ!
Oh my God! Nobody wants to hear that when you're fucking.
You couldn't possibly imagine how many fools are out there that actually start with the letter Q.
Will you please shut up?
What's wrong with you?
So I took the Detroit Lions -7.5. I took over 6 total touchdowns for the game, considering they just got 7 by themselves last week. I think that's not a terrible. And I think the first possession, I have the Detroit Lions scoring a touchdown. $5 bet was $370.
Place your bets, please.
Wow.
Yeah, it's kind of whack. It's kind of weird, random.
I like it.
I fucking love it. That's good shit, man. So go out there and place your bets. Place your bets.
Big money, do it.
Yeah, I foresee a Montgomery touchdown on the first drive, right? Like every other drive they do.
Yeah, I like it, man. I like Amon St. Brown, man. It's being subliminally sent to me through your shoulder over there, above your shoulder there. Did either of you do FanDuel this week? Okay, DraftKings it is. Who wants to go first?
That's where all my money is. I just keep doing it there.
Right, you got money in there. You might as well roll it over. That's right.
All right, QB, sticking with the hot hand and Bo Nix. He's still relatively cheap, a little more expensive than last week, but $6,300 against Las Vegas. I got Bucky Irving for $5,300 against the Giants. I mean, that's
That should be a great matchup.
And then I got on the other side of that game, I got Tracy Jr. against Tampa Bay's rushing defense, I should say, is awful.
Yeah,
for 6,000 even.
What rushing defense, right?
Yeah, there's none there, right? Didn't like this pick, but it just money wise, he was the best available because he was kind of like the last pick of my, when the cash was gone. It was Marvin Harrison Jr., 6,100. So I might finagle that. I might change that at 6,100. Yeah, against Seattle. Cortland Sutton to stack with Bo Nix, 5,800. Jalen Waddle, he always kills New England. It's weird. He always gets at least one touchdown. It's just strange. So I'm going with that. He's not had a great season, but we'll see. 5,300. Tight end, Zach Ertz, catching touchdowns every week, 3,800. Joe Mixon at my flex, spent up for him. Obviously, he was much higher this week, and he had a huge 100-yard, 3-touchdown game. Tennessee, again, he should score. And the Vikings defense, they score points all the time too, 3,400. So,
fuck yeah, nice.
My quarterback is $6,300.
Yeah. Bo Nix, he said.
Yeah, gotta do it.
Yeah, man. Bo. You don't know Bo.
Bo, you don't know diddly.
Bucky Irvin is my dude, man. Always been on it.
Hey, I don't give a fucky about Bucky.
I knew you'd like that. I knew you were gonna pick him. You couldn't for that money for 5,300. Man, Jesus.
There, why not? Moving on to my second running back, I'm going with Robinson Jr. with the Commanders.
Hey, you should start every running back against the Dallas defense that you can until further notice.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm doing it. I'm going Lad McConkey for $6,000 while he's still cheap because I think he's only going to get better. And I got Amon-Ra. There's my homer guy.
That's the big money. Big money.
8,300. Yes, I got him. And then I went to the evil side for Chris Watson for $5,200 against San Fran. And I always end up doing two tight ends for some reason. So I've got Hunter Henry, $4,000. Travis Kelce, $5,800. And my defense for $3,500 is the way Dallas has been looking. Give me the Commanders.
Fuck yeah, I don't blame you a bit.
Oh, yeah.
Dare I say that you keep picking tight ends because you can't handle those wide receivers? No, I kid because I kid those I love.
It's not dick that makes women cringe. It's specifically your dick.
I'm going to go ahead and move my lineup right here so I can look at it. I threw some money right at the quarterback position to start Patrick Mahomes against Carolina's defense this week at $8,400. I took a little bit of column A and a little bit of column B there. I took a little bit of both of you guys this week because Brian Robinson Jr. is a must start this week, in my opinion. Dallas's defense is so soft, I can't believe it's not butter.
But what? I can't believe you. What?
The New York Giants, Tracy Jr., I'm going to start him against that Tampa Bay defense. Same reason. There's no pass defense. There's no run defense there. I also noticed that the Waddles does seem to have big games against New England, so I'm going to start Jalen.
He's always waddling, man. He's waddling.
Yes, indeed, man. Waddling and waddling. We're waddling this week, and we're Robinsons this week because I'm going to start Wandale Robinson. For the Giants against Tampa Bay. I'm leaning on Josh Downs, man. I love him against the Detroit defense this week, considering they're going to be definitely playing from behind, probably starting about 3 minutes into the game. It's going to be past time for Indy. So I think Josh Downs should be able to be a featured guy in a mop-up, in a come-from-behind role, I'm thinking. Tight end, I like Jonnu Smith for Miami, picking on them Patriots a little bit. Saving up some money, I was able to spend a little bit at my flex by being a little frugal at the wide receiver spot. So I went Ken Walker the third at my flex. And I'm starting the Houston Texans defense against the Tennessee Titans this week, man, for $4,700. But I tell you, I'm so close to changing that out for Washington's defense, man, because I do think you want to pick on that offense. So
it's a rival game too. So
right.
And they're in Washington. So
yeah. And nice pussy, by the way.
Hey, thanks. I like to carry it around like a pirate.
Break out your wallets, break out your money, and throw it in the way that you're going to build it bigger and better. You're better off with us than playing the stocks these days. So
as long as there's not any ineligible guys downfield, right?
Yeah,
It cost me a parlay and a fantasy loss.
That was crazy too, man.
Fucking
by the way,
call, man.
Yeah,
Oh,
that was crazy.
made me sick. It is what it is.
And they got the touchdown like 3 seconds later, but
Not my guy though.
Yeah, right. But just enough to fuck you, right?
Yeah.
We're going to revisit that. At the end of the year, we're going to do a show where we're going to redraft. We're going to have a redraft special. We're going to do an award ceremony for the fantasy awards. And man, I suggest now that you start remembering that, because I would like to do a deep dive on some of the plays and or moments in the year that just left a gaping hole where your asshole used to be. You know what I mean? Like,
my asshole hurts, my dick burns.
I mean, that loss could get me out of the playoffs, right? You never know.
Literally, yeah.
Something stupid like that.
Right.
I just want to make it to the playoffs.
Just let me in.
I'm streaking in the right direction, knock on wood, baby. So let's keep it coming. Yeah.
I have this huge weight on my shoulders, and I
Yeah. Hey, as long as you're streaking in better places than your underwear, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully it'll be in the right direction. So there you go, man. All right. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out and watching the show. We appreciate it. And please, as we tell you every week, grab a friend and let's get this thing bigger, better, and better. And I'm going to tell you right now from the group here in the studio, if you are that guy and your team is flailing and you're not looking like you're maybe going to make the playoffs, still put in a lineup.
Yeah.
Do it, man.
Yeah.
Don't
be a
hand
dick.
somebody, right? Yeah.
Don't give up.
There's somebody who needs you to win and at least put up a fight,
Exactly.
so don't.
The way I look at it is I could be knocking somebody else out of the playoffs, right? I'm playing spoiler.
On that note, gentlemen, I say let's go do some football. What do you think?
Let's do it. It's going to be a fun week, guys. Let's
Fuck
do
yeah,
it.
man.
And be sure to like and subscribe.
Always is.
Great games on the docket, man. So let's get it done.
Good.
Don't be the guy in your league not putting in your lineup, because if you are, fix your fucking life.
That's it.